I polled my viewers on 4 assorted topics for what I should do a video on, and top 10 normal women on Yu-Gi-Oh cards won by a landslide. So, to make sure it wasn't just because that was the only Yu-Gi-Oh topic of the group, I pitted it against 3 other Yu-Gi-Oh topics in a new poll, and yup, it won again. So the people wanted to see this random topic I thought of, and I'm delivering. With Yu-Gi-Oh being full of many varieties of creatures and people with supernatural powers, we like to take a breather every once in a while and look at the normal ladies on all kinds of cards. Despite me saying normal, this does not mean they're classified as normal monsters all the time. I know that can get confusing, but we mean any character on a card who seems to be your everyday gal. Could be a worker, a student, or just someone taking a stroll. This one's really up to the eyeball test, but we've always liked it when we get everyday people on cards. And to help me is the expert on being a normal lady, Judgment Meter.
What do normal-ass ladies do in Yu-Gi-Oh?
We'll find out.
We'll find out.
Now, let's plainly talk about the top 10 normal women on Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Number 10, Solemn Wishes. This is a woman in the rain, that is all. It feels like she's posing for some photo shoot, maybe an album cover. She's Madonna and or Peter Griffin in Ray of Light. It might be raining, but it's rain where the sun is breaking through the clouds, evident by its effect. It's a continuous trap where when you draw a card, you gain 500 life points. The idea was to set up for the long game so you get that extra benefit when you use strong draw spells like Pot of Greed and Graceful Charity. But those cards are banned now, and life point gain isn't really viable in decks that do draw a lot, so overall it's a bad card, but it has nice art.
So you're all upset, it's raining, your clothes are sopping wet, and then you gain 500 life points. Suddenly, glittery star things start to shine from wherever the heck, and you're like, man, I just feel like dancing.
Its Japanese name is Kami no Megumi, translating to God's blessing, so the heavens smile down upon ye. Specifically, the Solemn Judgment guy, or at least I assume it's him since Solemn is in the card's name and he tends to be involved in those. It's a reminder that Solemn used to be the way Konami censored God in a card's name, similar to how Devil always got changed to Fiend or Death to Doom. Regardless, Solemn Wishes is a happy woman in the rain, and since she's from an early set, it gave her an easy iconic status. Number 9, Protector of the Throne. Despite the video title, there will be a lack of effectless monsters on this list, mostly because those kinds of monsters tend to be some sort of fantasy creature or at least a trained warrior, but for the most normal of the normal lady monsters, Protector of the Throne fits the bill pretty well. On the surface, she's just a woman in a dress lounging on a throne, and this is apparently protecting it based on the name of the card, which is, I don't think she's taking this very seriously. The lore states, while the king is away, this queen protects his throne with a mighty defense. So I guess this is the queen, which I wasn't expecting, but that's my bad. She could just be in her casual wear when she doesn't have to wear all that official gear, or maybe she's just from a less formal kingdom, who am I to judge? Regardless, I love the design of that impossibly long hair, but what does she do to battle? Sitting? Is sitting her only attack method? They do boast her defense on the lore, which is 1500, and I assume that's mostly the chair, so I don't know what she does without it. The one potentially beyond normal trait that she has is her crystal ball. Is that levitating? Is it a weapon? Can it see the future? Or is she just admiring it, like, la la la, I'm an expensive thing? For the sake of this topic, I'll assume it's the latter. And yes, I showed it quickly earlier, but this card was censored internationally due to the bust being too exposed.
Those dresses are really hard to wear. Low booby dresses. Because you have to use double-sided tape, or just, it has to be super tight so that pressure or just God's will holds your boobies in.
The art style of the Rush Duel version of this card also makes the dress look a bit less tight.
Wow, she's pretty. Okay, I like the lower boobage on the Rush Duel, but I think I like the higher dress with the necklace on the English card. I feel like that could also be a very cool pants. What are they called? Rompers?
Junko jeans?
Junko jeans!
And of course, she has a counterpart called Invader of the Throne, which we discussed on my second weird flip monster list. It's her, but with evil colors, and she has a bad effect that takes control of your opponent's monsters that likely won't go off since it's a flip effect that you can't activate during the battle phase. Finally, Protector is involved with the fusion to make Guiltia the D-Knight, but that was just arbitrary materials being assigned to early fusion monsters, so there's nothing to go off of there. Maybe a double life as a warrior? Regardless, Protector of the Throne is still goated for the art, but maybe not for the stats. Number 8. Tragedy. The international art looked completely different from the Japanese art for this one, which was a big ol' guillotine in Japanese, and the name fully translates to Tragedy of the Guillotine. Not really sure what's going on here, it's just a drawing from the Yugi vs Arcana duel in the manga, but I guess it would be sad if someone got guillotined, so there's the tragedy. Since guillotines are violent, and they don't want violence on the international version, they redrew the art to be something completely different and took away the of the guillotine in the name. I guess they couldn't edit the guillotine to look like some cool laser blade since a guillotine is pretty distinct, so now it's a woman being scared of some mysterious stranger who's actually Dark King of the Abyss. We spoke about the few cards with guillotines that were removed on our weirdest censored card list, but I'll reiterate it here again. Where's the tragedy on the new art? What's he doing? And more importantly, why is the art style so weird here? The woman is all shiny, but not in a good way. It's like she's made of plastic or silly putty. Also, her hands don't look like they should have that many joints or muscles. She's like posing for a horror novel cover.
If I was on face cam, you people would be able to see me mimicking this lady. It's weird. Who did this art?
I don't think we know because it was a censorship. It was just an unnamed person on the localization team. As far as the canon version of this card goes, this lady does not exist.
Or this dude.
Oh no, that's Dark King of the Abyss. He's on a lot of cards.
What about the lady?
Nope, she's a nobody.
That's rude. Go find her on another card. You found him. Go find her.
But I can't just make up cards that...
Yes, Judgment Meter.
Yes, Judgment Meter. My random comparisons are she kinda has a similar color palette to Princess of Tsurugi or Cecilia, Pegasus's wife from the manga and anime, though I specifically would not want to put Cecilia through this.
I was gonna say, do not speak ill of the dead.
I mean, she's not dead here.
Well, she might be dead soon.
What's funny is, they eventually did release Tragedy in English with the original art, making this really awkward art null and void, except that was limited edition, so the awkward art is still what you see most of the time. The effect actually has some guillotine-style flair, where when one of your opponent's monsters is switched from attack to face-up defense position, you can activate this card and destroy all of their defense position monsters. So you could use an effect that forces monsters to change their battle position, and then, shink, release the guillotine blade now that they're all set up. Moderately good effect and strategy for 2004 when it came out, but it wasn't really used from what I've seen. Regardless, I see the vision of the guillotine style effect that makes no sense with the international art, but at least that international art gave us another normal lady to rank. Number 7, the Unhappy Maiden and the Unhappy Girl. They amped up the sadness on these cards. I always felt depressed looking at them. The Unhappy Maiden was in the set Metal Raiders, and I forgot she was released as early as the second TCG set. She's been around for a while. Her effect is, when she's destroyed by battle, immediately end the battle phase, which was a cool stall tactic back in the day that eventually got power crept. I like that Chaz used it in that anime duel where he couldn't use monsters with more than 500 attack points. As for the maiden's art, it appears she is very sad since she didn't sell a single flower from her basket after hitting the busy streets at night. The Japanese card name is Hakonobi Shoujo, which translates to a beautiful girl with a tragic fate. What's the fate? Why is it tragic? Is it because her only use is being destroyed for her effect? Does she need to sell a flower to be happy? Sure, fine, I'll take 10.
Are they poppies? They're made out of her hair.
There is speculation that this card is based on the fairy tale The Little Match Girl, about a girl who has to sell matches to support her abusive family, which I hope it's not because that has a really sad ending and I don't want that for this monster. She got a new version of herself a few sets later with the Unhappy Girl. The effect was related, where monsters that attacked into her were unable to attack or change their battle position afterwards. So instead of ending the battle phase altogether, she specifically ends that monster's ability to battle, and she can't be destroyed while in attack position by battle, so it makes her slightly more sticky on the field. I don't think anyone used this card, but I saw it around a lot in the collections. And for the art, yup, still sad. No flowers sold. Once again, I'll take 10. though she is by a nice lakeside setting here rather than the city, so maybe she's doing better. That being said, her Japanese name is Hako no Otome, which translates to ill-fated maiden, so this is just her before or after not selling flowers with the same fate. They really gotta make a follow-up called The Happy Maiden where she accomplishes her dreams. I want the good ending for her.
That's fine. I'm gonna throw them in the river.
Number 6, Battle Mania. This is one of my favorite cards for the art. I feel it's a reference to something, but I have no idea what, and it's funny enough where I don't need context. There's some martial arts guy in the center, and the seemingly normal schoolgoers are all angry with fighting aura as if they want to fight this one guy or each other. Really, we don't know much. It just appears the guy in the center is making everyone intense. It's like that one stand in JoJo's Part 6 that makes everyone in the area extremely violent over the most minor inconveniences to a point where they all feel they must fight to the death. Though the guy in the foreground has a light aura, while the schoolgirl and the preschooler have fiery auras, so maybe he's manipulating them against each other. Either way, the schoolgirl is otherwise normal, so she counts for this list. I just want to know what happens with her here. Does she have super fighting reflexes or strength with the aura, or will she just punch and have no impact because she's not a trained fighter? Or who knows, maybe she is trained.
The guy in the combat outfit, don't get mad at me, he is basically the Tatewake Kuno in this, because instead of wearing his school uniform, he's ready to go at any moment.
Why would I get mad about that? Also, yeah, you're right, it does have Ranma 1/2 vibes on this card.
Yes. Also, I was a big fan of Real Bad High School manga. Yeah, if anyone read that, tell me about your experience in the comment section.
For another specific anime reference, it reminds me of early Yu Yu Hakusho when Yusuke was still a ghost and needed to fight off some goons to protect Kuwabara, so he took over a random schoolgirl's body since she was close and then cleaned house. As for the effect, it represents the art, where you activate it during your opponent's standby phase, force all their monsters into attack position, and during their battle phase, every monster they control must attack if they can, so you're forcing the fighting instinct onto your opponent. Obviously, this card is easy to get around by just clearing the monsters that were forced into attack position for stronger monsters, but I do like the idea of not having anything to go into, so you're forcing the weak monsters to attack into your big guys, which explains why even the preschooler is raring to fight on this card. Regardless, the scenario on this card always intrigued me to see more, and if we ever do, I'm sorta hoping the schoolgirl wins since she seems neat. Number 5, Charming Resort Staff. This card is support for the Spiral archetype, which is a big ol' secret agent James Bond Metal Gear reference with all its art. Being spies in their gadgets, their effects are based around infiltrating your opponent's space by looking at and rearranging cards on the top of their deck, and putting double agents on their side of the field to hinder them. And to follow up, they have effects that make you guess your opponent's cards to summon or search their cards, which isn't actually guessing since you just looked at the top of their deck, and having quick effects that clear their field. The strategy centers around the super agent being your Bond or Solid Snake, with multiple cards in the archetype counting as him when on the field or in the graveyard. And for the lore, their base is at their secret resort. Whether the resort is a real independent resort where they just set up shop, or a resort that they run that has their secret base underneath is unclear to me, but what is relevant to this topic is there's a waiting staff at the cafe there with the normal lady of the archetype, Charming Resort Staff. She's just a cool waitress serving a sandwich to the master plan lady. Ain't that neat? She's putting on a smile for her 8-hour workday and doing the best she can. She reminds me of Stephanie from Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds, who is the waitress at the coffee shop in love with Jack Atlas, the third string of Jack love interests, but I like her enough.
It's just a lady with a job trying to do her best in this hard world. She's so sassy with her little hand on her little hip. Here's the whatever of the day. Mr. and Mrs. whatever. Why do I know your name? Because I'm a really good waitress and you're my regulars.
For the resort staff lore, I have no idea if she's in on the Spiral plan, or if she's just a part of their cover thinking the spies are regulars at the cafe, or her employers at what she thinks is a standard cafe. Her effect does work with the spirals, but she's not an official spiral by name, which makes me think that she's technically uninvolved. She's got 3 effects, all centered around the main guy, Spiral Super Agent. When an attack is declared involving Super Agent, she can drop the opposing monster's attack to 0. Also, if she's destroyed, you can special summon the Super Agent from your deck. And finally, if your Super Agent is destroyed or sent to the graveyard when she's in the graveyard, you can banish her and return Super Agent to the hand. Why is she so protective of Super Agent? Is she running cover for him intentionally, unintentionally, or is there some sort of romantic subplot? He definitely seems interested in her in the background of her card.
It's like Cat's Eye. Oh, Cat's Eye is about these three sisters who are art thieves, but their secret, not secret jobs are cafe owners.
Not having Spiral in her name meant players generally skipped her in the deck since she was unsearchable, but maybe symbolically, that's just the life she wanted to live. She could be a star with the Spirals, or she can just live in the shadows as your everyday gal. Number 4, Resurrection of Chakra. I've given those old, seemingly random ritual monsters plenty of spotlight on this channel, got a whole video based around the original class of ritual monsters, so in short, for the visuals, the spell shows how the big monster is brought out. Sometimes it makes sense showing a ritual taking place, and other times it just seems to be some random crap that is technically the ritual ceremony, but it was so vague or esoteric of a reference, we had to fill in the blanks. That being said, early ritual monsters weren't worth the cost, so no one was actually looking at these cards unless you liked the art like I did. Our biggest example used to be the hooded woman on Novox's prayer named Lo summoning Skull Guardian, but they sure showed us by making it a big archetype centered around her, showing her journey and connection with Skull Guardian, detailed to a point where we had to cover how much mileage they got out of those cards. So I would say next in line of the intriguing ritual spell versus monster that has no backstory is Resurrection of Chakra summoning Chakra. And Judgment Meter, can you guess what Chakra looks like?
Her, but a little older and more sultry.
It's this.
Oh, no, not at all. What? Ew. It's a wine stopper. It's a weird wine stopper. That's not at all what I thought it would look like. It is powerful, though. What is this abomination? I like that it has a classic background of nothing. Its fingers are really weird. Oh, they're like cheese doodles. Purple cheese doodles. I'm really hungry. I really want pancakes for breakfast. Maybe I'll make pancakes for dinner.
She's a seemingly normal woman being encased in vines or something like that, and the end result is this one-eyed, one-point flying purple people eater. And what I want to know is, what is this implying? Is she being sacrificed to summon it? Are they the same being? How did she find herself in such a scenario? And what even is this creature Chakra supposed to be? I know about the internalized chakras, none of them involve a one-eyed monster, so I feel there's a reference here that I just don't get. Another reason we need this to get the Novox's prayer treatment and just get a full archetype detailing what this process entails and who this woman is. I think I care so much because the lady looks nice, and I don't want her to be replaced with whatever Chakra is. Also, Judgment Meter, the spell card is censored. Can you guess why?
Boobs. Boobs! I know it's boobs.
It's boobs.
I didn't know it'd be that much boobs. Wow, she lost her shirt altogether.
Assuming she's willingly in this situation, I respect that part of her ritual involves going into vines nude. I feel like that's therapeutic. Number 3, Inspection. I love the lady on Inspection. I can't explain it. I've always just enjoyed the art style on this card. Before we get into that though, look at this effect. It's a continuous spell, and during your opponent's standby phase, you can randomly select one card in their hand and look at it at the cost of 500 life points. First off, I love how this is worded like a sales pitch with that old text. At the cost of 500 life points, that random card knowledge can be yours! Assorted spells and traps back in the day valued looking at your opponent's hand, and they were polarizing, where they were either busted to the point of being banned, like Confiscation and Trap Dust Shoot, which let you look at the entire hand of your opponent and remove one thing, or they were hilariously unreliable with a stupid cost and only looked at one card and didn't let you do anything to it, like Omega Goggles or this entry, Inspection. Having a single card in the deck that randomly gives you one card of hand knowledge for 500 life points per turn is unreliable and bad, but despite being useless for the deck, the art always caught my eye since I like the lady on it. I don't really have an explanation for this one, since she is a pretty standard looking blonde lady for Yugioh. No wacky scenario or facial expression or apparent job, and her outfit is simple, but I just think she's neat and wanted to see her on another card. Also, I said her outfit was simple, but that's actually not her outfit, it's just a towel or something. Her outfit is over there, being inspected, representing how you are inspecting your opponent's hand. I have no idea why she's being inspected, but early Yu-Gi-Oh! Art loved the aesthetic of a corrupt government in an old village setting. Painful choice, toll, confiscation again, the huge revolution gang, the tyrant traps, it goes goes on. For this card, I'm assuming it's the standard corruption of the village where the officials might have seen that she had something valuable, so she was subject to an arbitrary inspection under the law. Though my headcanon to make everything better is they find nothing they want, so she puts her clothes back on, takes her stuff, and walks away with nothing stolen so she can continue on with her day.
It's like the TSA! I like to think that the guy in the armor is protecting her from the creepy guy with the hat. I hope everything's okay and she gets to go on a plane to Barbados.
Number 2, remove brainwashing. I love this art. That is such a unique facial expression. As the name implies, this woman was in the middle of her brainwashing being removed. You can see a device breaking around her head, implying there was some sort of mind-controlling crown on her. Who put it there? What was she commanded to do? Who broke it? Nothing will answer that, but this face is pretty much when you take a picture of someone mid-exertion and it looks like something that's impossible to replicate. Kinda rude of the photographer not to wait to snap the pic until she's back to her senses. It's the eyes that get me. I want to know more about this green-haired woman. How did she get in such a predicament? The effect of this continuous trap is, as long as it's face up, the control of all monsters not belonging to their original owner returns to the owner. This type of returning effect used to be notable, since there were a lot of cards that took control of the opponent's monsters, like Change of Heart, or Snatch Steal, or Creature Swap, or Mind Control, i.e. the brainwashing. But as those cards went out of style, this effect was more for kaiju-style effects, which let you tribute your opponent's monsters to put a big useless monster on their side of the field as an unfair trade-off to clear the monster that you tributed. And with remove brainwashing, now you get rid of the monster and get the thing you put on their board back. That being said, people avoid using cards like remove brainwashing since the kaiju is pretty harmless when given to the opponent. And for a follow-up to this card, we have release brainwashing, which came out over 20 years later. It was a quick play spell where when a monster is tributed to summon another monster, you get one of two effects depending on who the owner of the summoned monster is. If you own it, you get to take control of it, i.e. remove brainwashing on a spell card, and if your opponent owns it, you can negate that monster's effects. Also, if you get that first effect where you take control of the monster, it goes back to the hand at the end phase, meaning it goes back to your hand, letting you recycle the kaiju. Great gimmick that no one's gonna use, but that doesn't matter since we have new art for this woman. We got an update on her, and she's, I don't know, looks like a dating sim where we're at the beach with her, so yeah, sure, she's pretty, why not? I'm glad she's doing well after that whole brainwashing debacle.
Wow! Now she's older and so much happier because she's not under control of some weirdo. She gets to go on a date also. What a turn of events. I'm so happy for her.
For number 1, how do you even judge this? Well, I'm the list maker, so I'm supposed to tell you, so I don't know. This is just one of the first cards I thought of, and it's always been goofy in many ways, so why not? Number 1, Spy See Spy. Now we don't know much about this woman. Maybe she does have secret powers or is a true trained assassin, but from my viewpoint, she's just a crafty lady with no powers whose main goal is to fight back with Muyang curry. This pic tells such a story. First off, the name is Spy See Spy, implying spice like curry, and she's a fire attribute monster for the spice. And I think the mustache guy is a spy as well, to make a pun how a spy sees another spy. Or he's not, since the name is different in Japanese. Her name is Kareinaru Supai Chi, translating to Splendid Spy C, so the C in the English name is a reference to her code name. But also, Kareinaru not only means splendid, but the kare is the word for curry in Japanese, in reference to what she's holding, which is why the English name goes for a spice pun. Oh my god, it's so clever. That being said, I think this confirms that guy might not be a spy. Anyway, I assume to get the intel from or distract her targets, this woman puts curry that is too spicy on her target's food so they have to cool off or can't pay attention. She's also distracting on her own since these guys are attracted to her in the background, which is probably useful when she needs attention in that way too. The final part of her spy getup is censored, since they hit this card hard with the censorship stick. Her leg has a device strapped to it, which is unclear of what it is. It could be a camera, weapon, or quick escape tool, possibly to go with her earpiece. Apparently, that leg was too scandalous where they had to erase part of the important visuals on this card.
She's pulling a Mr. and Mrs. Smith, which is a movie I have not seen, but I have seen the poster.
And while we're on the topic of this card's censorship, might as well point out the other changes they made. They reduced her bust size, turned the wine glass into radioactive high C orange, took away the man's wine glass and cigar and made him kinda twiddle his mustache instead, added more fabric to the woman next to him, and took away the hearts in the background guy's eyes. That one is the most baffling of the censors. It's just a Looney Tunes gag.
Excuse me, it's Orange Crush. Tell me if you like Orange Crush in the comment section below. Like and subscribe.
Regardless, I love the implication that this spy gets it done with just a saucer of curry and a dream. Oh, and the effect, why not? When she's normal summoned, you can look at a random card in your opponent's extra deck, and if the attack is 2,000 or more, she gains 1,000 attack. But if it's less, you gain life points equal to that monster's attack. Novel effect, but it does have a spy aspect to it, so I like it. It's nowhere as good as those other spies, but that doesn't matter, since this lady has Muyan Curry and a #1 spot when it comes to the best normal ladies in Yugioh. Now, what did you think? Were all these ladies plainly cool, or were some of them a bit too extraordinary for this topic? And who are some of your favorite normal ladies on Yu-Gi-Oh cards, whether we discussed them or not? Let us know in the comments. Anyway, thank you all for watching, and we will see you in the next video.